Did you get your agenda, Tim?
I did, yes.
Can you send that to Carol?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Okay, we're live.
All right, you are live.
Give me a second here, Carol. I'll email this to you.
All right. Okay, in the interim, we can call a meeting to order, I assume. Can you hear me all well?
Yeah?
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. First thing is Pledge of Allegiance. Penny, Neva, you guys want to handle that?
Yeah. You're right here. Oh.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
To the republic,
one
which it
nation,
stands, one nation.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
Okay, is there any public there?
No public as of yet.
Okay. Minutes, everybody has the minutes. I don't know is everybody there? I'm not sure who's there.
Hang on, I'll do a roll call. Penny?
Yeah, do a roll call, I'm sorry.
Neva, I'm here. Vanessa? Here. Lenny? Tim is on Zoom. Carol is Zoom. Pat? And Teresa. Yes. All right. We're good to go, Carol.
Okay, no public minutes, everybody has minutes.
Should be in your little pack there.
Yeah, I don't have those, but you guys can look at them and
Yeah.
that's all right.
There were other voters, so it's all good. Anyone need a pen? Everyone got a pen? You all good? You need one? Here's one.
Okay, after you guys have read the minutes, if somebody wants to make a motion to accept them. Do we have a motion?
Carol, I have one question first. Teresa has a question, Carol.
Go ahead.
You have the sign done for the door. It says on here you do on the minute.
Did you hear that, Carol?
I did not.
She wanted to know if you had the sign done for the door.
I wasn't here for the last meeting.
She said at the
Okay.
last meeting.
Oh,
She did.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. I mean, because like I said, I wasn't here. I had.
I actually made a hand one just for now, but I had to cover it up because I didn't have two of the magnets.
Yeah, I just was asking.
Yeah, we have it. We just haven't put it up.
Did you see Jim about that, Carol?
Yeah, they weren't sure what they did with the original. Yeah, they don't know what they did with it. They looked, I guess, but, and I don't want to drill holes in it, so I was just putting magnets on.
Yeah, maybe we just go with the magnet. I made a paper one and put in the thing for the holders. Yeah, that worked good. Even during the storm, it still worked.
That's what I figured.
And I put it up with like those clippy magnets that stuck to the door. So I think magnets will work fine, Carol.
Okay. All right. Is that it for the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
I motion we accept the minutes.
Second?
You did the second.
Pat did.
All those in favor,
Sorry.
say aye. Opposed? I'm going to abstain since I didn't see them.
Yeah. I
Okay.
always abstain because I do
Yeah.
them.
Okay, treasury report, bills to be paid. You guys want to review those?
There's quite a few. It might take them a little bit of time. It adds up once you start printing them out and stuff. Give them a few minutes, Carol, because there's a lot there.
No problem.
In other words, the reconciliation. Yeah, you might have like 3 or 4 of them there. Because I do 2 different types of reconciliations and then, yeah, 2 months a lot. Yeah, you'll see there's like 2 different months. If you don't understand anything, Vanessa, you just ask and we'll help you. I don't know if you've ever looked over these reports. They can be a little confusing if you haven't. If you're not familiar with them.
I did want to know what you can use this for.
Equivalent dwelling unit, right, Carol? EDU.
Correct.
Equivalent dwelling.
So that would be one house.
Go ahead.
So one house would be an EDU, or one apartment, one mobile home is considered an EDU.
Like
So a dwelling unit.
usually a residential area, residence, like Penny and I, we have 1 EDU. Teresa has 1 EDU. Pat has 1 EDU. Well, like the beauty parlor, that's only a half because it's not open. It's very small, you know.
And if it has like, it could be like a school.
Yeah.
Like broken down like.
Trailer court,
Yeah.
restaurants are more. The laundromat, you'll notice is more.
The laundromat has more.
I'm trying to think of all.
Yeah.
Well, and because it's a laundromat,
Because, yeah,
it's the amount of.
Water in that.
Yeah.
That's one.
DEP provides guidance, I think it's Title 25, but they provide guidance on how you figure those out for commercial or industrial or any of those. So it's just not an arbitrary, for the example, the beauty shop, if there was a beauty shop that had 6 beauticians in there working every day, that would be different than just one beautician working, or just, yeah, one person working with one share. You know, if it was, so there's guidance from DEP on how those are determined.
In other words, we're not deciding. DEP gives us a formula. I've seen the formula. I've seen that formula, Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Is she up here by the CNC? Who's up by CNC?
No, that's a barber shop.
I have to take, what's it called?
Paula is across.
Oh, Jesus, God, I know where she's at.
Yeah.
I'm on these two.
She is,
Shut up.
what was her name that owns that place now? The old lady? What the heck's her name?
Joanne Collar used to be there too.
Yeah, but
What the hell is her name?
she's in the nursing room.
Anyways, everybody reviewed the
Yeah.
treasurer's reports. Okay, do we have a motion to accept?
Vanessa made a motion.
Do we have a second? Second, anyone?
I don't do my own treasurer's report, you know, I
No.
abstain. Pat,
Okay, we need a second.
Pat,
Okay, thank you. All right, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? I'll again abstain because I didn't see it. Motion carries. All right, solicitors report. Tim.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
yeah,
I really have nothing, to be quite honest. I sent the letter out to Mr. Hedges earlier, or not earlier, after the last meeting. I talked to Neva earlier in the week and today about liens and collections and whatnot. She'll expand on that a little bit, but really had nothing pending on that end there. So that would conclude my report for the evening.
Well, that's good because it saved us money then.
Yeah. Which I appreciate this month, because if you've seen the news, I've had my hands full with Kiski Township the last couple weeks. So that was much appreciated, at least this cycle. That was quiet from New Florence. I appreciated that. So.
All right, good. Okay, then operations, Neva.
we had normal monthly operations. Sad to say that although we had some of those accounts I explained to you guys that we finally got paid off, I'm noticing, guess what? They're repeat offenders. I begged them, please keep up with it now, so it doesn't, but guess what? I'm noticing. So, Carol, permission for me to send them water shut off notices quicker than the 300 we had originally agreed on. Carol, your voice is off.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't think we need a motion for you to do your normal thing.
Well, I just wanted everyone to be aware, though. Those, I don't want to let them get again to where, you know, yeah. So I normally, we had always in the past agreed years ago that we would wait until they hit the 300 mark, and then I would send out delinquencies, but I think it's best we proceed, especially with it being $50 now. So if that's all right, then I'll start that.
Okay.
Okay. And I did get the 811 call about Hedges disconnecting. And that bill has been paid in full.
Good.
And again, I'm going to look over the accounts this section and see if any, the program is still in effect for the assistance program. So I'm going to look over and see if I can get anybody else. There were like 2 people that had pretty big accounts. I was trying to get them to do the paperwork. I mean, you just do the paperwork, these accounts could be paid off. So I'm going to work on that again. And Carol, you have the sign done, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get
I just
that
have to
on.
remember.
Oh, and then Carol, we need to do for Vanessa to be the bank signer to get on the signature card at the bank. That has to be in the minutes. So how do we do that? How do I put that in the minutes to accommodate that?
You have the motion where she was actually made. So yeah, just make a new motion to add Vanessa to the bank account
Okay,
as a signer.
I make a motion to add Vanessa to the bank account. Do we have a second?
Did you get a second?
Not yet.
I'll second it. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? I couldn't hear. Did the motion carry?
Do you two oppose?
No, oh, I thought that.
No, just if any opposes to adding Vanessa to the bank
No.
account. Signature card.
Okay, motion
Oh, yes,
carries.
Carol. Hang on, I gotta get
Thank
this.
you.
That way, because if you're on vacation, because you're gonna be traveling too. So I wanna make sure that I
Sure.
put my checks in the mail. Okay, and Tim Rainey is done with our first audit. And he is now working on 2021 audit. Okay,
Okay.
and then we did the right to know, Shahosky. And I sent all that to Tim and Carol, and they okayed that before I even emailed it to him and stuff. So that's all been taken care of. And then you have mine and Lenny's contract review. You wanted us to do new contracts?
Yeah, do you guys have those?
Yes, I do.
Did Lenny bring one?
Did you bring one, Lenny?
Okay, I think the best thing, because we're just seeing those now, I'll pick up from you, Neva.
Yeah.
I'll get it picked up from you or drop off or something.
Okay.
Everybody, let's get them reviewed. Any questions you have, I would say go ahead between now and then, the next meeting, call if you have a question for Neva, you have a question for me, you have a question for Lenny. I would call them or make notes and we get, beforehand, get those questions answered so that we can get this taken care of at our next meeting. Because we've been we're probably a year out dragging these out. Does that sound reasonable to everyone?
Are you all?
Yes, I have other questions, just let me know whenever I can ask them.
Did you say you had questions right now?
I have questions, I said, let me know when I can ask them. It's not directly about the contract, but it's about some other. And I wanted you guys to finish what you need to do first before I started asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely. We have time for that. Yeah. And we can go through Neva's report and then we can even do Lenny's report. And then typically you should have new business, old business at the end of a meeting anyway. So absolutely.
I wasn't sure because we usually just buzz through and not anybody has anything.
Yeah. Okay, you want to finish? It's not directly related to the contracts, then yeah, let's go ahead and finish the operations. And if we want to shove it in there next, then we can.
I think. let me
That's
look.
entirely up to you guys.
Oh, the next meeting I will be on vacation, but I'll have the paperwork all ready for you, Carol, and have it all down here and ready to go. Okay?
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. That's it for me.
No, what about you? No, we have the Judith Sezik letter came to me, but we need to talk about.
The what? Oh, yeah.
The letter from Seward?
They all got one. I printed everyone one out.
Okay. Okay, everybody got that letter, and did you relate to them? We got a letter from Seward requesting some information on our EDUs. At first, we weren't really sure what they were looking for, but I went ahead and called Judith Sezik, their attorney. They were using an old email that I don't think has been used since probably 2012, when we changed out of the Verizon. So it didn't come through, so she sent the letter. Anyway, I talked to her. They're doing their renewal of their NPDES permit, which is the permit that licensed their plant. And so they had to provide a ton of information for that, obviously, to DEP. And part of that was what we were sending to their plant. So not only did we give them the information they requested, Neva and I kind of spent probably, 2 hours and went through everything and gave them a little bit more information.
3 hours. Probably.
So they had it. And honestly, so we kind of had a handle ourselves on where we were with how many customers and so forth. It hadn't really been done in detail, and we probably got 90% of it accurate. At just some point, I thought maybe even Vanessa would want to do it, but maybe I'll just take a walk around town and just figuring out what houses are empty and which ones aren't. Because, the people have passed away, but the families haven't cleaned the houses out yet. And, maybe the house is still sitting there and we're considering them active when they're not, or, and it's an apartment or a house that's been trying to be sold, or one that maybe had some damage from fire and hasn't been renewed. So we just need to get a handle. So probably the only way to really handle that is to take a walk through town one day and just go through our list and mark them off. So that's, like I'm saying, we were able to give them probably 90% accuracy in that information. And it was easy. We don't have any industrial customers. We actually went through and listed for them all of our commercial and institutional customers, just so they had an idea of what we were charging and who we were doing. So if you guys had any questions on that.
I do. If it's not just
Yes.
from our system, they pay. It's in our contract. So it don't matter whether they're in the house.
Say again?
I said, if they're not.
We can charge them at,
If they're not disconnected from our system, they still got to pay. That's the way we've always done it.
they still have to pay, absolutely. But that is considered our money. We're not getting any treatment. And our bills are structured in a way that, yes, we still charge them if they're still physically connected. And, but we aren't necessarily sending that to Seward. So we're not paying Seward the $8. It used to be $6.50. Now it's $8.50 per EDU. We're not sending them the $8.50. But the other part of that is there'd be people say, well, then I'll just dig it up and disconnect. Well, they can't do that because the township and the borough ordinances say that if you have a structure that can be inhabited, then it has to be physically connected. So they can't do that either. But the way our rate structure is set up, because of most of it being our debt service, which is the payment to Penvest, we still charge them and we can legally do that. So they can't not be charged. They have to be charged.
Should we have a walking point outstanding, this is the best or whatever. If we need to disconnect, contact. Or something.
Did you hear that, Carol?
I did not. I could hear somebody talking. I couldn't make out what it
Come
was.
over here, honey.
Can they come over closer?
That's more much for me to receive. If we go to the people's houses, should a letter be typed up stating, like, under the circumstances of a vacant house, please contact the sewage authority to disconnect or resolve your account in some way?
Well, again, they can't physically disconnect. And if they're not paying, then they're already getting a letter on delinquent amount. But they can't physically disconnect. Again, that would be against township and borough ordinance.
So, I don't know if I understand then what the point is of going to people's houses. I think the point was, Carol, that so we know which account is dormant and which one isn't. In other words, like, I don't get notified when a person moves out of a rental, say, for instance, and it's not, maybe that, like Carol Cushman, she's not going to rent it again, So I don't get notified that it's not being used because we're paying to send it, for sewer. It's calculated on the EDU unit. So we don't want to be getting charged for that EDU, sewer charging us for it when they're not even getting anything. So the point is to find out which homes are dormant and which ones aren't. Like the rectory over here, it's not been used for what, many years now. So it's dormant. Is that right, Carol?
Correct.
Is that correct, Carol?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it just, so we have a handle exactly on what we have coming in and going out, I think is important.
Like I found the old paperwork for the EDUs that we, you know, how we calculated the sewer before, what we were sending them. Carol has a chart from when she was in the office. She has a chart with all the listings of all the dormant places, and then, you know, you count your EDUs by that, and we know how many we're sending sewer. And that's how it's always been.
So if it's dormant, it's not counted.
It's not counted
For them,
but
yeah. Okay.
for us it is, because,
That's
you
what I
know, they're
was-
still in our system.
This is saving us $8 per account essentially.
850, something like that. In other words, us paying sewer that 850. I think it's 850, isn't it?
It's 850 now, yes.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
it was 650.
Yeah, it was 650, now it's 850 because they added the $1,000. So, you know, they just based it on what we were already paying them. If you think about that, it's not, you know, that raised it, like they just raised it 1,000. There was no count. See what I mean? I'd rather have a count and find out, well, how much are you charging us for EDU? And then we know. More structure, I think, anyway. The count and everything, that was the letter and stuff, I just made y'all copy. And I, sent it all, I have a list, you know, that
All right, before we go to Len's, do we want to jump to, Teresa had questions, or Teresa, did you want to wait till the end?
It doesn't matter. I just wanted to know, like, it's easier if we have the meeting every month instead of, because we're getting too much, we're getting backed up. And if everybody's gonna keep zooming, I mean, we're having a hard time hearing you some, you can't hear us. And I know you've got a medical condition, I'm not saying about that, but I mean, it's just getting too much to do, try to get everything that you think everything you need all at one time. Because now we're going to be looking over the contract, and you know, I jot stuff down, but that doesn't mean I'm going to remember everything whenever it comes down to whenever we start asking questions.
Okay. The reason I think that we went to the every other month is because we were unable to get quorums for every month. That was before my time. I think they'd gone to the every other month, but that's entirely, if somebody wants to make a motion, we can throw it up, you know, against the wall and see if everybody wants to meet every month. That's fine.
Well, I make a motion.
That's a little more work.
I just, it may be more work, but this is gonna start being run like a business. I mean, because we're getting too far behind on stuff, and you know.
Yeah, we can always, and we can always throw in a meeting too. We can always say, as long as we advertise it properly for the sunshine law, we can always have another meeting.
I can't just drop the hat. I have a contract. I have a mail contract. I can't just say, I got a meeting, I gotta go. You know what I mean? Like
No, that's what I'm saying though. If we want to have one every month, we can always do that and say, okay, we're going to have for the next 6 months, every month. You know, we can change that as we need to. I'm not saying just, but yeah, if you want to throw a meeting in for August, absolutely, we can do that. Just understand that, and again, I don't know. Well, we're using our facility. It's not like we can't get the borough facility every month. So that's fine if you guys want to do that.
Well, Nita's not gonna be here the next meeting, and if we're gonna review her contract and we don't have a meeting until for 2 months, then what if we have questions for you and you're not gonna be here?
yeah, I will not be there.
Yeah.
need to get something.
Well, we can't do it without Carol reviewing it. So, I mean, it'd be best to have a meeting next month and so on.
I definitely
We'll
think
have
we
to
should
advertise.
add one next month.
Yeah. Okay, they're thinking that they want to add a meeting for next month.
That's fine. Let's do that then. If that's the consensus, absolutely.
I'll have to advertise that, Carol.
Absolutely, yes, you do.
August 23rd.
Yep, 26.
23rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, you probably will. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, and Neva, you can let the borough know that we're going to add that meeting and possibly going forward every month.
You just want me to advertise for the August 23rd meeting?
If you're going to advertise and the consensus is that they want to go to every month, maybe, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, advertise for every month going forward at all the dates. We can always cancel without having to go to the expense of advertising, correct?
Yeah, I mean, there should be a motion too. I didn't really, just to formally, that someone should make a motion to either have the August meeting or have an October meeting, whatever the plan is.
I made the motion.
Okay.
Give a second.
If Pat seconded it.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Teresa, anything else?
Yeah, I had another question. Yeah, are we gonna have like, I think that, you know, the solicitor should be here once in a while. I mean, every meeting that I've come to so far now, we're all on Zoom. And this is actually the first meeting that we weren't on mute. And he had to ask questions on what he missed. I mean, we're paying him to be here.
And actually, we're not.
Okay,
Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but if you look at his schedule of fees, we actually pay for him to come here is more
Okay.
money. And that's entirely up to you guys. If you guys are willing to do that, if you want him here certain meetings a month, if you want them all.
I mean, if we mute and ask him not to repeat ourselves, you know, I mean,
Doesn't he get paid for zooming in? The meeting too?
Yeah, during his time Zooming, but that doesn't include travel time. Am I correct?
Yeah, that does not. I mean, I'm
I think it
not
would be.
traveling.
Yeah, it's just keep in mind that we would have significant higher costs. I don't have a problem with Zooming. Maybe we need to set up our Zoom system in the office a little better. I think, you know, major corporations across the world, this is how they do run business. We're probably just not set up properly in the office, and maybe there's just a couple things we need to tweak that everybody could hear. But if that's what you guys want to do, just understand that there's going to be some more cost to that. And we are probably in a position that we can absorb that.
so we don't need to, what I'm saying is like, I don't, it doesn't matter as long as he's gonna be paying attention. I mean, when you mute it, whenever someone's discussing stuff, you know, it just sort of makes you wonder what's going on.
Are you asking about me muting?
Yeah, because the last two meetings I was here, that you muted us a good bit of the time.
Well, I just mute it because I mute it when I'm not talking, just kind of out of courtesy. That's really it. So there's no background noise.
Yeah, he's listening to the meeting and he's in front of the
Yeah,
camera the whole time. It's just he's muting his audio back.
Okay,
I do the
understand that,
same.
Carol, I understand that, but a couple of times the one meeting that we had, he muted it and didn't even know where we were at, so he wasn't listening.
Okay, I mean, I'm not
And
sure
I-
specifically
I
what
think
you're,
If you're gonna listen, you can mute it all you want, but if you're not gonna listen, there's no point in mute. That
I
was
mean-
just like me coming into the meeting and not listening.
no,
to my
hold
mom,
on,
but I'm
hold
sitting
on.
here staring at everybody.
Listen, I'm happy to represent and be part of this and whatnot, but the notion that I'm not paying attention or not contributing, I'm going to take some umbrage with that. You know, I've represented this authority now for 5 years. You know, I used to come to the meetings, but when COVID took place, we went to the authority went strictly to digital meetings. You know, and I've been participating because it's a bit of a hike to get to and from New Florence. So there was an agreement at some point along the way that I could do this remotely, but still participate in the meetings. You know, I take notes of the meetings. I keep in pretty close contact with NEVA, not every month, but when there are monthly meetings, and if there are going to be monthly meetings, we'll talk every month. The notion that I'm not paying attention or doing something I shouldn't be, I'm going to take some umbrage with that. I mean, I'm strictly muting the meetings so there's no background noise. I mean, the other thing is too, on YouTube, the individual speaking is the one that's shown on the screen at the time. So if I shuffle a paper and I pop up on the screen, I do that so that doesn't happen. So there's no background noise that makes me the primary person. Look, if there's an issue with me as the solicitor, you folks can make a motion to get rid of me and find somebody else. I mean, it is what it is there. But I've represented this group for 5 years. There's never really been a major issue in terms of my representation. At least I don't believe there has been. But if there is, and there's a problem with the way I'm doing things, feel free to go a different route. I'm not going to take that personally. I understand change happens and whatnot.
I don't think anybody wants to go a different route. I just was, like I said, I wanted to ask questions. I'm not here to offend anybody or make anybody upset. I just wanted, you know, you got to look at it from my point of view. You know, whenever you have to keep repeating, I'm stating a fact, but you do a good job. But I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, Teresa, I think our biggest.
Sorry, I apologize.
Teresa, I think our biggest problem is the difficulty is we're just not set up properly for Zooming the meetings, and I think we just need to tweak our system a little bit. And we'll look at that too. You know, COVID taught everybody that we don't all have to be at the same place at the same time, but obviously our technology isn't what it should be. So maybe if we try the opportunity to do that and try that for that August meeting, maybe NEVA, we can look at what we have, because we have a camera. It's just everything's sort of set up in the with NEVA's computer, and maybe we just need to, even maybe a matter of just turning that towards the room so everybody can see the monitor and everybody's sort of sitting on one area or something. But again,
I mean, the other
COVID's
thing that could
resurging,
be-
so.
The other thing that could be done, I mean, you can call into the meeting. So someone could call in. I don't know the setup of the new room. I haven't been to a meeting in the new office. But I think if you had a phone in there and just set it on a table in the middle, you'd be able to hear and we'd be able to hear better. I mean, that might be one issue or one resolution here. Or a microphone or a speaker.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like right now.
yeah, well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Okay, well, to resolve the, well, maybe not resolve it, but
Look into.
we'll look into that if that's satisfactory to everybody, unless, you know, you guys, if somebody wants to make a motion that says, hey, we want our solicitor here every week or every time we have a meeting, you guys are more than, you know, that's why there's 7 of us or 6 right now. So that you guys, it's just not one person making decisions. So if that's what the consensus is, please let Tim know now so he can make those arrangements.
I think the Zoom would be good if we just, like you said, tweak the system. So we can all hear. and-
Okay, let's try that for the August meeting. And again, the biggest corporations in America are doing it, so surely our little corner of the world, we can figure something out better than what we have. Anything else, Teresa?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay, anybody else, or we're gonna go ahead and go to Lenny, and if anybody has anything at the end before we adjourn, throw it in there. Lenny, your turn.
Okay, on the free caps, I met with Bill Hughes, talked to him, got a price, went over and let them know what it was gonna cost. They got the okay, so I met with COG, which Bill Hughes is paying the bill for that, so we could find them exactly where they were. And they're marked. Bill did the 811 call, and he's been in contact with me and probably gonna do it one day this week. I'm not sure, depends on his schedule.
Good.
Questions on that?
No, thanks to all three of you for getting this resolved. Was it leaking at all, Lenny, when you put COG up there,
No,
the cameras?
no.
Okay,
Did you hear no?
yeah.
Okay, I called on the generator again. I don't know whether they just don't want to deal with us anymore. I never used them. The only reason I called them before I told you was I wanted the generator. I got one generator running 0.2 of an hour. I think they all ought to run 15 minutes at least. They have not got nothing back from them, so I guess I'll wait one more week, call them again, and if I don't hear nothing, better go back to who I've been doing. And it was my
Okay.
choice to change so I could get that, because the ones I've been dealing with can't do the Cummings. They don't have the computer to change that system. That's why I went with these guys, that they're not answering me back. I don't know what the problem is. So I'll keep on that.
Okay.
Okay. The steamer places wanted me to do that. Yep, I talked to the guy, told him what I was gonna do. He asked if he could have an extension till the middle of next month. He has money coming in. I said I'd asked Jones, I didn't do it, because I don't know if we're gonna get paid for it or not. I figured if he wants to do it, we leave him do it. Is that all right? Or do you want me just to go do it?
That's fine.
All right.
I don't have a problem with that. Anyone else?
What, I wasn't here for the last meeting, not from the last meeting.
We had it's a couple meetings ago, I had to call COG to clean out a pipe.
Okay,
They busted, run over with the truck and
Okay.
push it down in the system. Now we want to make it, raise it, put it up, or I'm gonna put a lamp, we call a lamp pole.
yeah.
It's the old metal thing, if you want to keep driving it, it's gonna cost a lot more. So yours decided, we decided for me to do it, because he wasn't doing it. So when I stopped and talked to him, told him what I was doing, he asked if he could have this extension, so he has the money coming by the middle of next month.
So he's gonna be paying for it.
Which he paid for that himself to do it. Other than that, I was supposed to go ahead and do it, regular the bill, yours is gonna pay me and then try to get it back on. I figured if he wants to do it, we're gonna bring it to you. That's all right with you, we'll wait for the middle of the month. If you don't do it by the middle of the month, I'll just do it.
I was gonna say, if he doesn't do it by the middle of the month, just, that's okay with me.
Okay, so we had, at the last meeting, we made a motion for Lenny to do it. So now we're not doing it. Is that correct?
Well, I don't think we need to change that because if he does it, fine. If not, then Lenny's gonna have to do it anyway.
So let's set up a amount of time. We're gonna wait to see if this gets done. Because is it just next meeting? So if it's not done by next meeting, Carol?
Yeah, if that works for you guys, absolutely. You know, Lenny, you be the judge because you know physically if it's providing any problems to our system or not, or, you know, if anything's getting in there. So Lenny, use your judgment. You'd know better than anybody.
Yeah, he has it capped, but it's the wrong size cap, so I don't believe we're getting a lot of anything in there. I just want it raised up out of the
Okay.
ground, I put on it, the way everybody else has to do. We're gonna
Okay.
wait until next meeting, or just want me to wait until the middle of this next month, and if you don't do it, do it.
I would wait until the middle of this month, and if he doesn't do it, do it. That way you're not getting any more than you have to into the system.
Did you hear that, Carol?
Yes.
If you put it off for too long, it's just gonna keep going and going.
Yeah, we already give them longer.
Yeah.
I took it upon myself to even, you know, do that. Truthfully, you told me to fix it. I'm telling you why I did it.
Yeah.
Trying to give the guys a chance, which, you know, got a good record. I know that. But you still got money coming in. Figured, what's another? Right,
Yeah.
so I took it upon myself to do that. So we're gonna wait till the 15th, and if it ain't done, then I'm gonna do it.
Okay. I think that's reasonable.
She said no.
We've already authorized the expenditure of funds if Lenny has to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to do anything there. And again, if it doesn't get done, then, I mean, if he does it, the other guy does it, then it doesn't cost us anything. So we don't have to have any special motions.
All right, let's see, next thing is, I sent the plans to Kristen for this temporary fix down here at Barnhart's, Sean's. I let them know that I've been in touch with her. I called him and told him that I let them know. But I texted her today again to see whether she heard anything. And she didn't answer me before I come down here, which I didn't think she would. So I'm still waiting for that. I'm hoping that we get something done because it's gonna get rainy down there again and then it's gonna be almost impossible to dig, I believe. So I'll keep trying on that, but that's all I know about that right now. Anybody got any questions on that? Everybody know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
We got one battery bed and they're all bought at the same time. I get them at my price, which used to be $135, but it's $160 a piece now for them big batteries. We need to replace 3 of
Those are
them.
those are the deep cycle marines.
Now I get the deep cycle marines are more money. I get the 1,000 cranking out
Yeah.
batteries out of for big trucks. It's cheaper for us to do it that way.
Okay.
Now we got one that has
All right.
to have that, but that battery I replaced at a different time. It didn't need replaced at the same time. We have one marine battery and that's out at number 4. The rest of them has these big batteries. I got one going bad, and the last time this happened, and it usually does, is about 3 years. It's already warranty for a year, and that's just the way they all are. So I need to okay to replace the 3 batteries. But I got to replace one, and I'm saying we got to replace the other 2, and I got to get them in for return.
Yeah. All right. Someone can make a motion to that effect. He said it was okay. Motion second.
Yeah, second.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, and I did.
Okay. Let me know when you're caught up there, Neva.
Okay, we're
Go ahead,
good.
Lenny. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I knew she was ready. I did bring that thing for my brother for help, but since the contracts are going to be done tonight anyway, I guess we can leave that go until we're done. That's it for me.
Okay. Okay. Just something
Sorry,
to tie. Go ahead.
One more thing. By December, this truck of ours is going to need them rockers, cab corners, front fenders. We had trouble with the four-wheel drive right now, it won't come out. I don't know what he's going to do with this. I've tried 2 or 3 people that want to do body work on it. I particularly don't want to neither. I've been doing the work on the truck, but body work for me takes so much time. I don't know what, maybe what you want to do. But it's
Funny enough, I think Lenny, the last time you left here, actually, Randy and I had that discussion that it's probably time. Do you know Sword's getting rid of their truck anytime soon? Because they periodically get new ones. And that's where our first one came from, was them.
Yeah, I usually don't discuss much, but yeah, they're in the middle of trying to get a truck. Also, our lawyer up there said that there's some kind of a grant going on that we might be able to get a truck through that too. So I think maybe our lawyer, if he could check on that, I don't know exactly what it is, some kind of sword jack, which we can do different things with. Might even help on the Barnhart one. I'll try to find out some more information.
Yeah.
I didn't get it all there. And I don't know where our lawyer
Can you
is.
do that for us?
Yeah, I can look into that. I have some familiarity with that, but I didn't think it was that all encompassing in terms of that. I can look into it though. I know what grant you're talking about, Len.
Okay, yeah, it was something, it's relatively new because the lawyer up there just sprang it up.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of all the grants available are all encompassing now. I mean, there's grants for Wi-Fi, sewage. It's just crazy the amount of money that's available. But yeah, I can look into that. Like I said, it's been a couple weeks since I really had read anything about it. And my understanding, I didn't think my interpretation at least was it wasn't quite that all encompassing, but I'll take a peek.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and perhaps, you know, couple options too is, Lenny, keep your eye open for something. Like I said, Sword tends to get new ones and their trucks are usually fine. But also what they used to call the piggyback system, which some of you might have heard back in the day, where governments buy vehicles. What's it called now, Tim? It's escaping me. Anyway, you can get a truck pretty inexpensively, a brand new one, and we could also borrow and make payments on that. So maybe that's something too we need to investigate, because instead of putting money into piece of crap after piece of crap after piece of crap, maybe we need to bite the bullet and get either, and maybe not a new one is the answer, but maybe something close to new, or, you know, and maybe even reach out to some of the local municipalities to see if they're going to be putting anything up for bid soon. I know High Ridge not too long ago had some of their stuff up, but maybe just reach out to even some of them, and maybe they can even give us a good handle.
I can't remember what it was. That I think the name that helps with the financing and we can buy them much cheaper is something Star. CoStar?
CoStars, that's it. Yes, CoStars.
Yeah. It's a specific
that's
program.
through the Department of General Services. That's what it was. It used to be called Piggyback back in the day.
Yeah, that's it.
But that's where I worked. We always bought our vehicles through them.
And you avoid
let's
bidding and things like that as well.
Correct. And honestly, you've got a lot of back in the day. Now, understand, I ordered a new truck, an F-350, in November of 2019, and I think they just took possession of it like a month ago down there. So the way the truck market is right now, you might be paying premium and we might not see things, but you know, even like a Colorado or a Ranger, we don't need a big ass 350 service utility truck. You know, we could get by with something smaller. So maybe, and Len, you're probably better than anybody to know what's out there on the market and what prices are.
Yeah, the last one
So maybe we just need to do our investigation.
Yeah, I got through my dealership, the last one, which is a pretty decent truck, but.
Yeah.
But, okay. I'll see what I can find out.
Is everybody fine with that? Was it maybe we bite the bullet and buy a new truck?
Yeah.
You guys all?
That's it for
Okay.
me. Well, that's
You just went over, yeah.
that's one is went over the high
Yeah,
point,
yeah.
but I give that to him, so then it's even more.
I just want to make,
Oh, I see, right, okay.
Anytime, the rest of
Okay, is there anything else then for the good of the order tonight?
That just breaks down what he did and what he got.
You know, Vanessa, off of that paper, that black, I thought there was a person. $80, I keep all of whatever I did, detail there. Anytime I want to do it.
Yeah, he didn't mention anything.
My job doesn't do. You want me to write down every time I take a phone call? Every time I write an email?
Yes.
That'd be impossible. I don't do that type of work. My contract says what I get paid for.
Was there a question or did somebody? Anything else? If not, if you guys have nothing else, a motion to adjourn,
Vanessa made a motion.
second? Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, adjournment. I don't even have a watch on to tell you what time it is. You have that, Neva. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we are adjourned at what time?
7:32.
7:33. Okay.
So that's,
Okay.
we can't do that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was,
We're not doing contract.